Greetings, Anonymous Andrew with you. Let me get rid of these so I don't stare at myself because I don't really need my glasses. Okay. YouTube channel. Why am I here? Okay. I am here because I'm going to do a middle of the week rant. So, if you listened to my episode last Sunday, I told you guys I was talking to this woman on a dating app, and we were doing very well. We had matched high on the dating app algorithm. There was a lot of commonality we had in our texting, and we decided to take it to the next level and have a phone call. And she knew about the podcast, and she was a little concerned that I would. She used the word feature. I would feature her on my podcast. And I said, no, I would never do that. But I did say to her that I do talk about my dates on my podcast, but they're anonymous. I said I would never use your name. She even said to me something like, don't pull the Taylor Swift on me. Apparently Taylor Swift talks about her exes in detail. And I said I would never do that. Anyway, we were talking one night. This was last Friday. Sunday. And we set up the time to call, and I made the call. And right off in the beginning, it seemed to go well. And we talked almost an hour, maybe 50 minutes, 55 minutes. And again, there was a lot of commonality there. We came from the same heritage, same background, even our grandchildren were the same age. It seemed uncanny that we kept finding more and more that we had in common with each other, except for one thing. There was one thing that we didn't have in common, and that became the deal breaker. I am getting out of New York. I am done with New York, all right? For those who don't know, I live right outside New York City in a suburb. And whether it's outside New York City itself, this whole metropolitan area, it is too expensive. It is too crowded. There's too much crime. It's just horrible. And I have been here for 60-something years. I did live around the country here and there briefly throughout my life, but I have spent the most of my life here in New York. All of my immediate family, I have 3 sisters. They left New York years ago, and they are happy and they're doing well. And I do have my, I guess they would be aunts and uncles still living where I'm living 20 miles away. And then I have my oldest son who has my grandchildren who live 30 miles away. So I'm a little bit of a conundrum here. I also, but the top of the list is the coldness, the winter in New York. For anybody who lives in New York or has been to New York in the winter, they can be brutal. Luckily, the last 2 winters have been kind of mild, but that can change. Whatever weather, climate, greenhouse, whatever's going on in the scientific world about the climate change, it doesn't matter. New York can be brutal in the wintertime, just brutal. And I don't want that. I want sunshine. All right, let's not say sunshine. I want warm climate 90% of the year. All right, I get Florida sometimes, depending, again, on the weather patterns, can drop into the 50s. I'm talking South Florida, though. I'm talking West Palm Beach, Delray Beach, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, and that's far enough south that you really don't get that kind of weather. that I brought up in the conversation I had with this woman. I said to her that I'm done with New York and that when I retire, which could be 4 years, 5 years, I just got off the phone, off a Zoom call with a new social media manager. I'm looking into a new manager. And he told me that there is potential to make good money on YouTube and podcasting, but it takes time. You don't, unless you're backed by some multimedia company, if you're an independent podcaster and a YouTuber, it takes years to establish a following, and you have to have that audience and a niche, and even then you the advertisers will slowly climb on board, and there's no guarantee. You might he didn't ramble off any numbers, but I'm not looking to make $100 a week. I'm looking to make thousands of dollars a month, and which would supplement my retirement money. Long story short is I'm getting out of New York. I'm going to Florida. This woman that I was talking to, she just moved to New York. And that's because she's got a daughter here and grandkids here, and she wanted to stay. She's retired, although she does work something during the day, part-time, whatever. But she came here to be with her family. And she's on her way in, and I am on my way out. So while we had a pleasant conversation, the next day, and this is really a lot of what I talk about on my podcast, when two people are dating or introducing or chatting or getting to know each other, and they come up to a line in the sand, and they realize that they don't want to step over that line. They say, this is not going to work for me. The term ghosting has come up because people just disappear. They just say, he's not for me, I'm just going to disappear. Or she's not for me, and I'm going to disappear. And I don't know, old-fashioned or whatever, I find that to be rude. We can save that topic for another day. I got the most nicest, pleasant text the next day from her. And I'll paraphrase it. She just came up in the text and said, look, I had a really nice time talking to you last night. You seemed to be funny and interesting, and I think we would get along great. But your long-term dream goals and my long-term dream goals do not align up. And therefore, I don't think we would be a good match. So I wish you the best of luck. And I hope your podcast does well. And I hope you find what you're looking for. And she ended it so pleasantly. It was a shock. I've been let down before. I've been ghosted. I've been texted and just said, sometimes they were not nice things that they said. Sometimes they were just, we're not a match, goodbye. This woman took the time, and I'm talking about, it couldn't have been more than 30 seconds to write this, to say to me, you're a great guy. I would really like to get the opportunity to know you, but I just know that several years down the road, we're going to have a problem because you're going to want to go this way and I'm going to want to stay here. And I don't want to have to deal with that. And she explained it to me. I understood it and I agreed with it. And I said to her, thank you so much for your honesty. The best of luck to you. And I even feel as if I could, I probably won't do this, but I could reach out to her, I don't know, in a couple of weeks and just say, hi, Jane, just thinking of you. I hope you're doing well in the dating scene. Whatever. It was not that much of a pleasant ending that I felt as if she kept the door open. Because even when I said thank you, she gave me a thumbs up and an emoji or something. So, anyway, that was why I just wanted to pop on here. I'm interviewing a social media person to handle this: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, because I don't have the time. I literally walked in the door at 6 o'clock. I jumped on that meeting. The meeting ended. Now I'm cooking my dinner. And now I ran over here to do a quick YouTube thing. And then I got to go get my dinner. And, by the time all this is done, it's 8 o'clock, 8:30. And then I got to get ready for bed. I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So, that's basically it. I just wanted to pop on. And also, I'm always going to tell you guys a lot about not just me and my honesty and my vulnerability, but I'm always going to talk about behind the scenes podcasting and YouTubing. And I was told to be consistent. In order to grab your audience, you got to be consistent. Each week you have to have the same not same content, but have content. Don't post something in October and then the next one November. You got to be consistent. So I'm going to try to start popping on here more often. Yeah, I have 11 followers. I get that. But that's going to turn into 20. It's going to turn into 40. It's going to turn into 60, into 1,000 over the next year. Hopefully. Whatever. So anyway, Anonymous Andrew here. I got to go because I can hear my zucchini sauteing, kind of sizzling and burning. So just wanted to say hello, and as always, if you need to make a choice, if you have to make a choice, please stop and think before you make that choice. In the romantic dating arena, is this person the right person for me? Just like this person did the other day. She made a choice. She said, no, he's not the right person for me because long term, we're not going to have the same goals. So she made the right choice. And it's all I'm asking you to do is don't rush into love. Think about it. Think long term. Okay? With that, and I have a lot more stuff to talk about, but we'll do that on the weekend rant. Until next time, ciao.